and welcome to JL Murphy Reserve for NPL Victoria action here as Port Melbourne getting set to host Dandenong Thunder. A big battle in the scheme of things as the season enters its final stages. 10th place Port Melbourne playing host to 13th place Dandenong Thunder. My name is Joe Lynch here. I'm joined today by Adam Tahiri making his NPL Victoria commentary debut. So if you are watching us on the NPL Victoria Facebook and or YouTube pages, you know, leave us a comment, but be a bit kind for both Adam and myself. Adam, should be an intriguing game coming up. Two sides that need the 3 points. Perhaps the Thunder need them a bit more than Port Melbourne, but should be an entertaining fixture here tonight.
Agree, Lynchy. Thank you, mate. Happy to be here tonight. Looking forward to a very, very competitive game where two sides must win, cannot afford to lose. Port Melbourne looking to consolidate their spot in the top six, and Dandenong Thunder looking to get out of the bottom three. A very, very cold night here, mate. Hopefully we can pull a favour with the canteen staff and get a couple of hot water bottles up here to get us through the game.
Hot water as well. I'll just take it. There's no wood up here for me to touch, but I'll just take no rain coming along at this point. We'll take you through the lineups before the two sides get underway. For the hosts, starting number 2, Amadou Karoma. Number 4, Michael Eager. Number 6, Alan Mulcahy. Number 7, Brodie Taylor. Number 8, Maker. Number 10, Daniel Clark. Number 11, Kaya de Godoy. Number 14, Kamal Ibrahim. Number 18, Finn Beekhurst. Number 22, Yuta Konagaya. And number 51, in goal, Majak Mawith. For the visiting Thunder, number 1, Pierce Clark. Number 3, Keegan Sheridan. Number 4, Yanni Georgopoulos. Number 6, Nick Modafari. Number 7, Blake Carpenter. Number 10, Brandon Barnes. Number 11, Kieran Dover. 15, Anthony Desic. 17, Shane McInerney. Number 18, Christian Cavallo. Rounding it out, number 22, Dean Beravescos. Well, Adam, when you hear those team sheets, what jumps out to you from either side?
For Port Melbourne, Sammy Ford being on the bench is a real shock for mine. I'm not sure if he is in fact injured, so we'll get some more information on that later. I was really looking forward to the duel between Christian Cavallo and Bezic from Port Melbourne. So Bezic is also out as well for Port Melbourne today as well. But look, if Dandenong Thunder bring the pressure as they have the last 3 weeks, they've been scoring goals, but they've been leaking a few, which has cost them. But also Port Melbourne, very strong in defence, but very, very, very good going forward with the dangerous number 22, Nuyigata.
Two sides kick-offs up there. Port Melbourne knocking the ball around the third back line in the early stages. Michael Eager and Maker playing back for the hosts. Konagaya on the left, dropping deep to claim the ball, looks to flip the ball over the top, comes down to the Goodway. With him. And on the side end, the ball is flipped over on the attacking right flank. Looks the ball over the top of Brendan Barnes. Big bad bustling Brendan Barnes. He's got a chance early here. Cuts in the left foot, has a shot off the crossbar from Brendan Barnes. Danger not cleared, however, for Port Melbourne, and then the sliding challenge comes in. And Adam, within almost 60 seconds of action here, Barnes comes inches away from putting the Thunder ahead 1-0.
Yes, defensive lapse there. Everyone committed for Port Melbourne going forward with Konagawa, but you just cannot leave Brandon Barnes one out with the defender, no way at all. Last week, Dandenong City did a very good job making sure they had 2 defenders on Brandon Barnes, way too dangerous to leave him one-on-one.
Danger not cleared. For hosts that will be swung in corner. Falls, shot comes in from Modafari, was blocked. Second follow-up effort from Georgopoulos is over the bar, so living dangerously are the Sharks in these early stages. Thunder looking to jump on top right from the off. Ibrahim moving forward for Port Melbourne. Fourth action early. Excellent defending there, however, from the Thunder to keep them out. McInerney coming in with a strong challenge. The Irish centre-back signed mid-season for the Thunder. Attacking the left flank for the Thunder. Fast and furious opening here, and from both sides, Port Melbourne, despite the fact that they're almost caught out, once again throwing themselves forward
No, there's got to be at least 3 goals in this game today, I feel, that's for sure. Two teams that cannot afford to lose. So it's going to be very open play. Looking forward to the battles between Brandon Barnes and also Kanagawa. I really think they're going to be making this show something special today.
Comes forward, you can see Roddy Taylor starting up front as the number 9 for Port Melbourne. To the right from Port Melbourne, so a chance for them to get some numbers forward once again. Thunder will look to rebound, so both sides flashing early warning signs for the other. Okay, in the middle of the park, comes back out to make it. Looking to reset, stretch out their position. Ball was played down the right flank, looking for Jerome. It's cut out, and once again, ball played in behind the defence for Barnes. He'll be forced to hold the play up and wait for teammates to arrive. Came in looking for Georgiopoulos, cut out, however, by Eager. He leaves it behind for a teammate. Now Port Melbourne with a chance to go forward. From Clark. Jerome on the right, Port Melbourne instead. Slow the game down a bit. We had a furious opening, but now the Sharks are just catching a breath. Away with the pass, give it in, collects. Pressure from Desic, plays it back to the good one. Eager. Medaya. Good one. Make it. Long ball in the direction of Clark. It's cut out and he'll get another opportunity, Will Clark. There's a ball into the area, looking for Taylor. Again, they'll do well, and Kanagawa will give away the free kick. Adam, if you are the Thunder, we've perhaps seen how they are going to look to break down this Port Melbourne defence. Balls in behind the defence for Barnes, who's shown, just giving us a hint there how lethal they can be. Do you think that's going to be an effective tactic against the Sharks defence?
Look, it's very well known. Dandenong Thunder always play direct to Brandon Barnes. The whole league knows that, which is why he's so dangerous. And you have to be so cautious of him in defence. But look, if Dandenong Thunder are quick enough in transitional play and able to get their first touch right and get it forward, they're very dangerous. But Port Melbourne seem to have picked up their pressure in their offensive third at the moment, so they're starting to look dangerous with the last 3 plays going forward.
He's put out by Keegan Sheridan. Did well to prevent him from going out for a quarter, instead conceding just a throw. Twisting and turning, eventually he's able to swing a ball into the area. The ball fell for Clark, however, just the shot splays off his boot and goes out for a goal kick, which will be taken by Pierce Clark.
Just be careful, man. This one moves the camera.
So Port Melbourne coming into this game, having last week suffered a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Hume City. Paul Wilson goal in the 37th minute, securing a victory for Port Melbourne. Before that, they had a 2-1 win over the Knights, as we'll briefly pause as the Thunder look to come forward once again. Dangerous driving run from Diver, gets it out to the right flank. Plays it back in, looking for player 1-2. Can he cut the ball back? No, he can't. The cross just slides off his boot and out for a goal kick for Magic Mallory for the Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City Youth, now starting in goal for Port Melbourne. Yes, prior to that defeat against Hume, Port Melbourne getting a 2-1 win over Melbourne Knights here at J.L. Murphy. Before that, 3-3 draw with Green Gully. 4-0 win over Pascoe and a 2-1 loss at the hands of South Melbourne. Dandenong Thunder, as mentioned, coming into this game after a 1-1 draw in the Dandy Derby against Dandy City, as this ball is driven forward. It's cut out by Clark, and there will be a subsequent touch let down and the Thunder will clear. And that heads it down. chase. Port Melbourne will work it back to Norwith. Pressure still coming, sliding challenge in from Carpenter. So that for a throw in. Prior to that 1-1 draw with in the Dandy Derby, Thunder had a 3-1 winner over Bentley Greens, bit of an upset maybe. And then prior to that, 5-2 loss to Heidelberg, 3-2 loss to Ulster, 3-2 loss to Ulster, 5-3 loss to the Oakland Cannons. In fact, that win over Bentley Greens snapped a five-game losing run for the Thunder. The last time these two sides met was in round 8 of the season at Dandenong Stadium. On that occasion it was a 3-0 win to the Sharks, Conor Gaia scoring in the 32nd minute, Valentin Chesnick scoring in the 45th, and then Sam Ford, who was on the bench tonight for Port Melbourne as that ball was driven in, headed clear, forced it to Goodall, let's play 1-2, and that's a very tight boot, but the referee has waved, well, eventually he tried to wave play on. We'll come back for a Port Melbourne throw in, and Sam Ford, who was on the bench today, securing the goal in the 95th minute to record a 3-1 win for Port Melbourne. And free kick in a dangerous area for Port Melbourne. And you can see everybody but Brandon Barnes back to defend this for the Thunder.
Correct. Port Melbourne have pushed forward Michael Eaton and Maker, so let's see an interesting duel between McInerney, Keegan Sheridan, Maker, and Michael Eaton.
Ibrahim to deliver. Swings it in towards a penalty area, it's nodded onwards, but it will be out for a goal kick. Set piece manoeuvring, the men streaming towards the penalty area in the end, fell onto the head of Taylor. His headed effort, however, goes wide, and it will be a goal kick for Pierce Clark. Former Jets youth Pierce Clark, made the move down to NPL Victoria from NPL Queensland, one of the pipeline of talent that exists from Queensland to Victoria. It's being nodded on by Taylor, but there's nobody waiting for it. And instead, Sheridan comes under pressure and plays it back to Clark. And now we'll get it back once again, but the Port Melbourne are playing a fierce press. Kamal Ibrahim does well to get in. Thunder nonetheless able to walk forward. That's advantage play. Dover in possession now. He's had a few signs early, has the former Green Gully man. Still has the ball, and now he'll splay it out onto the left side of the field. Overlap run is made, it's ignored. So it tries to cut inside, but well defended by Daniel Clark to nip back in. And that's to Karoma. Now the Thunder have to get back because Port Melbourne are breaking down that right flank in front of the grandstands. They get a boot in. Comes into Dover. And he subsequently loses the ball. Down by Clark, still going. Back to him by Taylor. Strong defending there from the Thunder. It will be a throw to Port Melbourne side. They're not slowing down, are they, Adam? Still going backwards and forth.
No, fantastic work from Daniel Clark and Beakhurst on the right side for Port Melbourne. Worked very hard deep to create that defensive effort there and bring the ball back in, and Beakhurst just worked his backside off going forward to be involved in a through ball here. He's crossing the ball in.
Cut out by Thunder. It will be a subsequent another throw in. So Port Melbourne applying the pressure earlier. They could have so easily been down a goal to nil. Just moments in when Brandon Barnes cut in onto his left boot, struck the crossbar. And they find themselves pressing hard, looking for an open goal. Ball is delivered into the area, just over the top of Brodie Taylor. Now the Thunder have a chance to break. You can see Brandon Barnes waiting on the shoulder of the defence. Wants a ball played through, and he's made the run. He's onside according to the linesman. Chance to face goal. He's got men arriving. Cuts in onto the left boot, gets it back into the middle. Wanted the 1-2, but Port Melbourne, aware of the danger and getting men back, they'll force a turnover and have a chance to break forward quickly of themselves. But the pass intended for Brodie Taylor goes long.
Very interesting tactical decision to keep Alan Kearney on the bench coming back from last week. There's not much left in the middle when Dandenong Thunder can get the ball deep. Alamonke, very trusty. I don't feel he's got the fitness to cover that much ground that they're leaving open. Kanagawa, a natural attacking instinct. A very interesting move. For mine, I would have had Alan Kearney start, that's for sure.
Don't place this ball in. Spills down, still dangerous. The shot comes in from Georgopoulos. Just sails just wide of the post, but Thunder beginning to wake up now here.
Absolutely, I think the forward press from both teams has been quite even and dangerous, and I don't think it's going to slide, that's for sure. Both teams need to win, and I do feel there's going to be at least 2 to 3 goals in this game, that's for sure.
Coming up with it, and looks up and tries to play the ball to Ibrahim, bouncing ball, Ibrahim just able to keep it in. And they have the good eye, but they'll come under immediate pressure from Desic, but they manage to avoid the former Knight. Desic arriving mid-season from Banyul City. Desic plays the ball back into the middle, but subsequent touch from Veravescos is Paul. Port Melbourne come away with the ball. Clark. Cut out there. Carpenter plays the ball into the middle of the field for Dover. And he's just wrestled on the ball by the good eye. He wins a free kick in a dangerous area, Adam. What do the Thunder do here? Do they shoot or do they perform a set-piece manoeuvre?
Well, you have two very lethal left footers here in Christian Cavallo and Brandon Barnes. Christian Cavallo, as you've seen in previous games this year, he has a wicked left peg. I think he's going to take this on.
Former Melbourne's victory and Melbourne City player. Also had a trial with Central Coast Mariners earlier this season. Standing over the ball with Barnes. Looks as though they both have nothing but the goals in mind. Barnes and Cavallo. Cavallo makes the feint. It's Barnes.
Great save.
Yes, Malwith does well to dive to his right and keep the shot out. Ball comes back into the area, however, and a bit of a miscommunication. With Kane, but his defender headed the ball clear. Doesn't have a chance to reset. Rafari puts the ball into the middle of the penalty area, but it's gone long. Magaya puts the ball out wide again to Karoma. He'll play a long ball out for Clark. Taylor on his own, winding up front for Port Melbourne. Can they find him in time? Karoma on the overlay. He's lost the ball. Fierce forward push from Port Melbourne. They forced another turnover, but nobody waiting with the errant pass. And the Thunder have a chance, back and forth. Communication over, the ball goes out for Port Melbourne throwing. Of course, we have mentioned his name a few times so far during this broadcast. Brandon Barnes got 13 goals so far in the season. Adam, you've seen more of the Thunder than I have. How would you describe his season so far, Brandon Barnes?
Look, slow start. Came back pretty heavy from pre-season, which was heavily criticised. It was pretty public that he'd win on the donuts. But look, he's come back in full form, as everybody knows. He's a goal-scoring machine. He can turn plays in and out. He can take corners, free kicks, in transition play. He can push off the centre-backs like no one else in the league. There's a few whispers going around that he's currently maybe a chance with Western United. But look, if he keeps scoring, I'll just say there'll be a few more knocks at the ball from the A-League clubs.
Western United, the newest side to enter the A-League for the next A-League season. Christian Cavallo's brother Josh, part of that first ever squad, and they do have 3 more openings on their books, which they, well, sources in the club have indicated will all go on attacking options. So it was also said by Mark Rudin at a recent fan forum that he preferred coaching locally based players. They have been added a few NPL games, so who knows, maybe they're watching the stream tonight. If you are, it's Port Melbourne coming through. And Ibrahim's on some space on the left if they can find him. Eventually they do work the ball over to the former gold medal winner. He'll come inside his right boot and try to put the ball in. It's a dangerous area and it's fallen. Port Melbourne can't get it in. Shot came in from Beakhurst. Well, it was a shot come across really. but in the end the ball has gone out. Danger not cleared, however, and it's a corner for the Sharks.
Yeah, the corner brought in by Ibrahim. The breeze is favouring Port Melbourne at the moment, so a bit tricky for the keeper Piers Clark to save it there completely. Port Melbourne pressing, it's looking dangerous.
Another chance now to swing a ball in, and once again you can see Eager and Maker, the two big centre backs, getting forward, trying to get ahead on this ball. Comes in towards the back post, headed back in by Eager, but it's only able to find the side netting from the former South Melbourne captain. He's also a joint best and fairest winner for the Sharks last year, so he's adjusted well to life at Port Melbourne as the Kiwi. Clark to just looks like he'll boot this ball long. Does so. Eager gets underneath, just heads it straight back for the Sharks. Now Barnes. To Desic. The ball threatens to slide through there to George Upwards. A strong boot from the Goodeye, clears the ball. And the Thunder will reset here. Appeals for a handball from the Sharks, no doing over, and the ball will be worked up the left flank by the Thunder. Maker is able to just see the ball over the touchline. Brandon Barnes falling over in the area, and he's come up. Is he indicating that there's a pothole on the surface, or is he looking at it?
Yeah, he's gone into a rabbit hole. That's not too bad for him. He's looking a bit. He seems to be shaking it off, but something the groundsman might want to check at half time.
Brandon Barnes definitely not a player that the Thunder want to lose for this game or at any point during the season as they fight for survival in NPL Victoria. Let's play forward for Konagaya. It's done well, slipping in between two Thunder players. Again, Sharks come down this right flank. Ball is played into the area, just over the head of Taylor, and it's hit clear by Modafari, but only so far as the Sharks will come again. Ibrahim gets it onto his right boot, cuts inside. Can he have a shot? He plays it in. It was once again one of these dangerous looking cross-cone shots where Taylor could have got the head on it. Perhaps reacting a bit late was Taylor. And it's gone out for another goal kick. Ibrahim flashing danger signs on that left flank for the Sharks. Long goal kick from Clark. It's only going to go as far as Mike. Eager now on the left. Sharks moving the play from right to left. Eager still with the ball. Has time to just look up and find the man. Eventually gets it to Ibrahim. Ibrahim plays it through to Clark. Clark still on the ball, tries to play through Konagaya. Nice. Spin move from the Japanese import. To eventually just go back to Ibrahim and then go back to Eager. Chance for the Thunder there. You can hear the cries of press up, trying to move the ball out. Sharks will reload and come again. Konagaya. Wayward pass however, and it's gone straight to Desic. His resulting pass is crashing around. Dover gets it into Barnes. Strong challenge from Maker, but Barnes keeps his feet and still has the ball. Plays it in across the goal, but there's nobody waiting there. Eventually comes to the back post. They have a mistimed hit, and Karoma will get rid of the ball for Port Melbourne, and now the break is on. Momentarily on, however, it's cut out, and then that will be a free kick. Carlton's brought down by Konagaya. From the bench, wanting a yellow card. That was dangerous, just Barnes getting the ball in across the face of goal. Just nobody waiting there at a pivotal moment for the Thunder.
No one to cut back to. An opportunity, I think, for Christian Cavallo just didn't happen. Brandon Barnes still can't shake off this ankle injury from the pothole in the box, which is concerning. Let's check that out after half time. But dangerous game, open game, great to see.
There's no goals for the father, and it's a training contest on the left as Padilla gets it into Panagaya. Straight ball across the field to the right, but it's strong defending there from Delavescos to win the ball back. And the ball was played in over the top for Barnes. However, it's just gone long. Thunder not happy with some of the defensive tactics being employed by Port Melbourne. They want some free kicks for holding. None are arriving at this point. The ball on the right flank for the Thunder, with attacking movements down both flanks for Port Melbourne. Ibrahim. The Thunder maybe a bit of a switch with the Goodall. He's hanging around now at the front. We'll switch it back. But Port Melbourne, they do like to go up and down the flanks, don't they?
No, correct. As you can see, they're really waiting to play their favoured right side, and definitely agree with that move as well. You've got Beakhurst, Daniel Clark, and Karoma. That is where their strength is tonight, without Vesinic, is that correct? Look, that's where they'll majority play, and it's all depending on how Kangua goes about where his positioning is. That's what they wait for. Kamal Ibrahim won't commit on the left side unless Kangua goes deep forward, but the majority side that the Port Melbourne want to play through is the right side with Beakhurst.
That move there from Port Melbourne, snuffed out by their linesman flag. Kamal Ibrahim making a run down the left flank, but was adjudged offside as this ball comes in for Barnes, working against Eager. Two big strong bodies, and Barnes does win the free kick, adjudged to have been brought down unfairly by the Port Melbourne captain. Now this is situation free kick a bit further out than the last one, Adam.
McInerney making his way down, hasn't scored yet for Thunder, no doubt he's itching for a goal. Let's see how he goes here.
It's Christian Cavallo standing over this one. What will Cavallo do? Swings the ball into the penalty area, but it's just met by the Sharks' defence. Oh, the Thunder still can attack here. That's Dover taking the ball out to the left. Cuts back onto his right boot and tries to put a ball in the direction of Barnes. Thunder still coming here. Modafari gets it to Barnes, tries to play the 1-2. Eventually it goes along, but Modafari will recover. Desic. Just a bit of a miscommunication there from the Thunder between Georgopoulos and Carpenter, and it will be a Sharks ball. And Blake Carpenter has been a new addition for the Thunder this year, former Adelaide United youth. How have you seen his season so far, Adam?
Well, I think he's actually been through a trial over at Central Coast Mariners as well as Christian Cavallo. Look, lively young boy. Started off a little quiet, but has really cemented his position in the senior starting 11. Look, pushes forward, can hold down a left back position and as well as a left mid. I think he's even scored 4 or 5 goals this season so far. So, promising signs of another youthful Aussie prospect.
But now it's the Sharks who are coming forward. Ibrahim. He's just played the ball back to Clark, who's still retreating his Clark, just trying to find some space. Karoma to Clark. Karoma again. Plays a ball in behind the defence here. Chance for the Sharks. Cut back comes in. Shot! It's in the back of the net. Sharks take an early lead now. It is Karoma. He kept coming. The cutback was on and he just found the bottom corner, and it's the score here at JL Murphy. Port Melbourne 1, Dandenong Thunder 0.
And as you can see, it came from that right side, the combination with Beakhurst, Karoma, and number 18. Sorry, Lynchy, I've actually forgotten his name. Beakhurst, Daniel Clark, and Karoma. With that combination there and the work rate of Kanagawa, Port Melbourne, for the whole season, their goals have come from majority cutbacks. The Dandenong, the defenders there, just took their eyes off their opponents, followed the ball, and as you can see, they've left Karoma all by himself for that cutback to clean up that goal.
So Amadou Karoma coming forward from his position at right back, putting his side ahead here in the first half. And now the Thunder looking to respond quickly. Ball's come into Barnes on the left boot. Barnes! How about that for a response just like that? Seconds after going down 1-0, balance is restored here at JL Murphy Reserve as the Thunder work the ball forward to their talisman, and he puts a left-footed effort down low into the corner, Mal with no chance, and now it's 1-1.
You just cannot afford to have lapses against this man. He is just lethal in and around the box. When he's got the ball, my God, the guy just scores for fun. And he's pointed over to his family who've come from overseas just yesterday to thank them.
Well, Brandon Barnes, he scored a lot of goals in his times, but always nice when you can score in front of family. Special moment there, here on a cold night at JL Murphy Reserve. Of course, Barnes English, so maybe his family's a bit slightly more used to the cold than a number of his teammates. And now he's coming forward, bustling forward again, putting Mawith under pressure. So lethal around the box is Brandon Barnes. He can just pop up and just poke it home. And now will we see another goal very quickly as the Sharks look to respond themselves?
You just cannot give Alan Mulcahy that much freedom throughout the middle to dictate play. If you can keep him honest, Dandenong Thunder will be able to press a lot harder and keep more position pressing forward. But Alan Mulcahy, ultimately, he will dictate play. He's known for it. If you give him the room, he'll punish you.
Switches on here if the Thunder can do it. Modaffari on his own on the right. Instead the ball is played long looking for Barnes, but Maker gets in the way. However, his clearance just goes straight to a wall of Thunder players. Desic tries to get the ball forward to Barnes, but he can't. Maker taking no risks. Tries to get the ball out onto the right, onto his left flank, but it's cut out by the Thunder. Just to come forward once again through Keegan Sheridan. But his pass is errant, and it's turned over here, and the chance for the Sharks to come forward quickly. Well, Clark's ball forward, probably intended for Beakhurst, but he's just lost control of it. It's just gone straight into the waiting mitts of Pierce Clark. If you are just joining us, the score here at JL Murphy Reserve is 1-1. Amadou Karoma putting Port Melbourne ahead, but just seconds after the restart, Brandon Barnes bringing the Thunder back level. Very entertaining contest here between two sides. They're desperate for 3 points. Goodway flicks the ball on, however, cut out once again. Back and forth action here at JL Murphy. Both sides pressing hard. Diver just splays the ball over the top. Maker with the defensive header. Mulcahy nods it even further forward. Sharks have a chance to come forward. It's played through to Beakhurst on the right. He had a chance to... his attempted cross-in was intended for Taylor. Instead it took a touch, and Pierce Clark had to be aware of the danger and make a strong collection.
You cannot, as Dandenong Thunder, when you're pressing forward, you cannot afford to take your eyes off either Beakhurst or Clark. They will make sure that they're in the offensive position. The moment you take your eyes off them and Port Melbourne get that ball back, if Dandenong Thunder keep playing long balls, if they don't win that second ball as they did just now, they do pay for it on the way out if they don't man up on Beakhurst or Clark.
Ball pinballing around there, a bit of head tennis between Desic and Eager. Magic came forward. Oh, look at this. Bit of techers from the Port Melbourne coach, Adam Piddock. Another one that made the trip down from Queensland to Victoria, Adam Piddock. And his side currently tied at 1-1 with the Thunder. Clark on the left flank, trying to cut inside, but strong challenge from Beravescos to put the ball out for what will be a corner. And as we can see again, and these two big lads in defence for Port Melbourne, Eager and Maker, just jogging up the field.
Eager, very experienced campaigner. Let's see if they can get a better ball in. But it's such a great duel to watch. McInerney, Eager, Maker and Sheridan. I reckon ultimately one of them are going to score for their teams tonight, that's for sure, from a free kick or a corner. Let's see how it goes now.
It's men waiting at the back post for the Sharks, and that's where it will be delivered. Eager rising up to meet it. Wanted a penalty, I think, for a handball. Referee waves it away, however. And there was a scramble following Eager's header, and the ball has been put out for a corner. So the danger not cleared for the Sharks. For the Thunder, sorry. Sharks, another corner.
Beakhurst left at the top of the box. You cannot leave him at the top of the box. Very dangerous if Clark gets to him.
Instead the ball is played in towards the back post again. Pierce Clark punches the ball clear, taking no chances. So we've gone corner from the left, from the right, now back to the left for the Sharks. They're knocking on the door, and now a run is quickly made by Beakhurst. Swings the ball in his right boot, maybe trying to get the ball lost in the area, but Clark is aware of the danger. Piddock appealing for another handball. Both sides here have taken had a few early complaints with the officiating, but really perhaps more so out of frustration than anything massively untoward from the officials. So that ball goes out. Competition between Desic and De Godoy. Ko De Godoy, a former Australian youth international, played with the Joeys, who will be at a World Cup later this year, the Joeys, and then was also in the systems of Sydney FC and Newcastle before trying his luck in Brazil. Didn't quite work out for him over there, but now he's back, an important figure in this Port Melbourne Sharks side. Kanagaya goes down. No free kick given, and now this is dangerous. The Thunder have a chance to break forward quickly. It's 4-on-4. Shot from Dover's charged down. Now Clark has just time to pretty casually actually just turn around and try to find a ball forward, but was it intended perhaps for Taylor or perhaps for Konagaya? It's gone long, however, much to the frustration of Kamal Ibrahim out here on the left flank, who wasn't shy in expressing his frustration that he didn't receive a pass, and that's headed onwards to Barnes. He's onside, tries to just cut the ball back and lose Maker, but nobody arriving in support, and Amadou Karoma was there to mop up. Ibrahim now back to Eager. Eager will look up and try to play through De Godoy, who gets it after a touch from Taylor. He'll splay the ball across the right to Clark, and then they'll work it out to Beakhurst. But that's a strong challenge, clearing the danger there. And it will now just be a throw in here and a chance for the Thunder to get numbers back. But once again, Adam, we just see the Sharks working the ball around, trying to get it in behind the defence on these flanks.
Sharks traditionally throughout the season have played it on the deck a lot more, but going one less in the midfield today with Alan Kearney on the bench, they need more from Degodi going forward. When he goes forward, it looks a lot more dangerous. He gives Congo a chop out, and they get forward a lot easier, and they look a lot more dangerous.
So that ball comes in, but there's been a free kick awarded, so Pierce Clark's acrobatic, apologies for cutting you off there, Adam, but Pierce Clark's acrobatic save all for naught in the end, as the referee found an infraction in the lead-up.
I'm not sure if the turnaround has got the Port Melbourne boys a bit sore throughout the week, but Konagawa, Ibrahim and Degodi, they just don't look as nippy as they have throughout the season. I'm not sure if it's just too cold for all of us, but they're just not up and about as they used to. They're not pressing as much, so they're just a bit of tempo play. They're just picking their moments when they want to go forward. Just not looking as fit and as nippy as they have throughout the season. So interesting to see if they've got legs throughout the full 90.
Ball headed onwards, and that's Brendan Barnes, who will be offside. Blake Carpenter spying his talisman in on goal, but his little deft touch over the top of the defence found an offside Barnes after the long clearance, and Eagle will stand over it. And Eagle will just play this ball long. Chested down by Taylor for Ibrahim, who tries to play through Clark. However, his pass is wayward. And McInerney just plays it back to Clark. However, turnover, Konagaya. Gets it out to Beakhurst. Beakhurst cuts inside, shot wide of the post in the end, well wide, but just that dangerous, forcing a turnover deep in the Thunder half were the Sharks, and could have been a lot worse for the Thunder in that situation, Adam.
Look, Pierce Clark there. He tried to pick out Kieran Dover. Dover's first touch wasn't the best. Need to be careful, especially on that side of the goal. I believe that is the scoring end at JL Murphy Reserve. So here we're on with Modafari. Modafari down on the right flank. He'll cut the ball back to the top of the penalty area. Dover plays it back to Modafari. There's a whole bunch of Sharks players in the area. Tries to get in behind the defence for Dover. Magic Mowith comes, and the young goalkeeper snuffs out any potential of a cutback from Kieran Dover. However, he has conceded a corner. Kieran Dover here with the Thunder in 2019. He did spend time in the Thunder system as a youth player. He's also had stints in the Melbourne Victory system and with Bentley and Green Gully, but now back home with the Thunder in the southeast.
Yeah, I believe Kieran Dover got his first senior game at Dandenong Thunder in 2014, I think, and a short stint over at Newcastle United overseas.
So corner is delivered in. However, Port Melbourne with, well, pretty much everybody back defending. There's nobody there for the quick counter-attack, and instead it will be a throw in here on the attacking right flank for the Thunder. Will be taken by Nick Modafari. Modafari arrived at the Thunder from Kingston mid-2016. That ball in the end, perhaps looking for Desic, perhaps looking for Barnes, in the end between the two, and headed away by Port Melbourne, who have a chance to go forward now themselves. Ibrahim gets it back to De Godoy. Okay, De Godoy plays it back to Eager. Port Melbourne will go all the way back to Magic Malwith and just try to reset, stretch out this Thunder defence and look for a passing lane forward. Maker in the end goes with a long diag, looking for Ibrahim, but it's just safe. Discretion is the better part of valour from Modafari, and it's headed out. Mulcahy's attempted pass is poor and it's turned over, but a strong challenge from the Port Melbourne veteran on Dover to put the ball out for a throw-in. Hustling and bustling here, physical contest at JL Murphy Reserve. The two sides going at it, locked at 1-1. Long ball forward, headed out by Eager. Perhaps the threat of Brandon Barnes forcing that throw in more so than his actual pressure applied.
Look, it was interesting from Maker. That was the first diagonal that the other centre-backs have actually sent today, and it's actually a positive sign. If you can get Kamal Ibrahim one-on-one on the wings, it's very advantageous. He's a very dangerous player. They need more of that, Port Melbourne.
Keegan Sheridan plays a long ball up the right flank, intended for Modafari. Port Melbourne cut it out. However, the danger is not cleared. It's coming to the area, but Eager does well to muscle out. The shots! What a save from Magic Mo with the left-footed effort from Beravescos. Was arriving to clean up after the contest and lashed in an effort that did seem destined for the bottom corner until the young goalkeeper, wearing number 51 for the Sharks, got down low to his right. It's a long way for the young keeper to go. He's a tall lad, but he's got out and kept it out and put it out for a corner.
Fantastic save and a great shot. Great play. Like I said at the start, this is going to be an open game. Both sides cannot afford to lose. Let's see what comes of this corner.
So, ball comes in towards the near post. Perhaps looking for McInerney, the big central defender, who'll stay up there as the Thunder maintain possession of the ball. Georgopoulos puts it in low, cut out, however. However, that pass is very wayward, and the sliding challenge from Modafari puts it out for a goal kick, but maybe a bit of a miscommunication there between Karoma and Ibrahim. Slightly selling each other out with that exchange, but they're not punished. And Magic Malwith will put it out. Magic Malwith, who started the season as the #1 goalkeeper in the Melbourne City youth system. after the departure of James Delinov to the aforementioned Western United. Choosing to make the move over to Port Melbourne in the mid-season transfer window. Talented young goalkeeper. Replaced as number 1 at City by Ahmed Taleb, who will be headed off. We'll briefly pause as Dover gets down the right flank and he puts a ball into the area. It's gone just... There was a deflection off the boot of De Godoy and it's gone out for a corner. So saying Mawith replaced as the number 1 in the City system by Ahmed Taleb, who's currently away in the ACT, Joey's camp, ahead of the Under-17 World Cup. As we said, a number of former Joeys running around the field here at J.L. Murphy Reserve. Kamal Ibrahim, a former Joey as well, born in Ethiopia, but representing Australia's junior sides. As ball comes in towards the top of the 6-yard box, deflected away. The Thunder will get another go, however. It's come into the back post. Malwith comes out with a punch. Great reach from the tall lad, as Adam said. Danger not cleared as the Thunder can just pull back that slingshot and come again. However, Taylor got a head in to prevent the quick rebounds, but that's a deft touch.
Classy from Barascos.
Barascos still classy touch, and now it's come out and then a free kick once again in a dangerous area.
Dangerous area before half time. Let's see if it's going to be Cavallo or Barnes. Who wants it?
Barnes got the last one. Perhaps Cavallo will say you had your chance. This is my turn now. Or maybe Barnes will pull rank, as he'd probably be fair to do given the amount of goals he has scored over the journey. He's wearing the armband as well, family in attendance.
I think Cavallo's taken this one. You can always tell the way they place down the ball. Oh no, Barnes has changed it now. No, I think it's going to be Cavallo.
So Georgopoulos is there as well if he wants to put a ball in on the right boot. It's Cavallo. Too much over the top of the bar. We have seen over the journey Cavallo has scored a few bangers. As we've just gone about 45 minutes here at J.L. Murphy Reserve.
Blow the whistle, Inchy. We need to get a coffee and some hot water bottles.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we will have 2 minutes of added time here at J.L. Murphy Reserve in a first half that's actually gone rather quickly. It's been an entertaining contest. It hasn't dragged.
Open game, like I said, two sides that cannot lose. I really think Port Melbourne are the team with some firepower on the bench to come on at half-time with Alan Kearney and Sam Ford. Interesting, this whole first half, anytime there has been a high free kick or even if it's deep, Port Melbourne have literally dropped every player defensively. I think they're going to save themselves for a big second half.
There's a bit of a wayward clearance there by Magic Mawith, and he's been able to clear the fence, and it's gone onto the AFL baseball, whatever that field is behind us. Got a bit of a Bronx cheer from the Thunder fans assembled on the right flank as well, did the young goalkeeper, and now Dover goes to work against Yuta Konagaya. Two highly skilled individuals just going at each other. Is a free kick there for Port Melbourne. Much to the chagrin of the Thunder bench, I won't repeat what they said, but they weren't very happy with the decision.
Just looking at the Thunder bench now, I see Dean Piamonte, a lethal boy that could come on in the second half. They missed him last week in the counter punch they required in the draw with Danny City. So interesting to see if he comes on at half time or a bit after 60 minutes. So it's game on in this second half again. It's going to be a great one to watch.
Perhaps maybe one final chance for either side to get something going, and it will be once again Port Melbourne. They did try to find Beakhurst down that right flank. Sliding challenge, however, cut it out, but it will be a throw-in. Just played back to Maker. Former Melbourne Victory youth is Maker. Comes out to Clark, and then splays through Beakhurst on the right. Cut back. Strong challenge there to prevent the ball from going to Brodie Taylor. Ball is still in. Carpenter going to work against Amadou Karoma, and he's adjudged to have infringed on the Port Melbourne right back. So
Crowd up and about. It's game on here.
Right in front of the grandstand over there, in front of the Port Melbourne fans, as this ball comes in towards the top of the penalty area. Strong header. And that is it. Half time here at JL Murphy Reserve. Amadou Karoma putting his side ahead after getting on the just popping up and finding a loose ball inside the penalty area on the cutback, but just seconds after the restart from his goal, the Thunder working the ball forward to who else but Brandon Barnes, who tidy left-footed effort into the bottom corner and scoring in front of his family. But Adam, how have you seen that first half?
Fantastic contest between two teams that must win. What I'm interested to see in the second half now is to see if a coach will make an immediate change or wait to the 60th, 70th minute. For mine, I think Adam Pickett might change, might add in Adeline Kearney for some more strength throughout the middle to press forward. For Dandenong Thunder, I reckon Verton Kachari is happy for now and Dean Piamonte to come on from the 60th minute onwards.
Well, as we mentioned here, the score here at JL Murphy, Port Melbourne 1, Dandenong Thunder 1. Be sure to join us here on the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages for what should be a big second 45.
Yeah, good half. Good entertaining half. Yeah, if you do want to say something, just make sure you tap me on the shoulder so I can get the mic straight in the face beforehand. That's just a 1 second delay. It's something you're just going to get used to. It just comes with practice. Yeah. Cameraman, can you please follow the ball?
I should comment say, mate, he can't feel his fingers.
My arms are hard, man.
That's useful. Goal, Box Hill's goal from earlier. The game I just called long range. You could say long range. Box Hill's goal, Eastern Lions. Box Hill's. Oh my god! Rooney! Windy or what? He didn't even look like he hit it that hard. Sound alright?
afternoon.
How are you, mate?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, how's your kick going? Still kicking the ball around?
Yeah, man. Now more than ever. I'm taking him to the park every day. Beginning of the weather this last week.
Yeah.
So good. Oh man, I'm so good.
It's just like last time I was out here calling a game, it was this cold, but it was also a thunderstorm. Massive thunderstorm at the same time.
I feel like some suburbs are like just colder than the others. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're right near the bay here, so all the cold air just
but it's
coming
like
off the water.
It's not like 9 degrees now, and sometimes it's like 7 somewhere else. It doesn't feel like that cold. It's just the wind or something. Woo. You're smart, you got gloves, man. You're smart, you got gloves.
Lesson learned through experience.
Yeah, for some reason, I didn't realize it was going to be that cold. I thought it was going to be alright.
It's like the hardest thing when Football 24 actually it was Conagaya that scored the goal. I'm like, I'm sure it wasn't. Just go back and check the replay. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. Not unless Conagaya's black.
So you've been busy with the matches?
Yeah, very busy. This is my third game in 3 days. Third game in 3 days, and probably another one tomorrow as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I literally came straight from Box Hill. Game in Box Hill finished at 5:15, and then just drove straight out here for this.
I went there last week.
Yeah, that's a good grounds to film that when like
The
you're
stands are
undercover.
nice as well.
Yeah, they got good food as well.
And I have a digital score which is helpful
Yeah,
to
so
see
you can,
time.
yeah. Completely forgot to turn the clock on for this game.
So which round is this?
Hey?
Which round is this?
This is round 21. Yeah, this is round 21.
So how many more for the finals?
5 rounds to go.
5. It's 26 rounds, is it? It's like half the year.
Yeah. NPL 2 has 8 more rounds, but they don't play finals. So. Oh.
So who's the best team so far?
In this competition or NPL 2?
This one.
Avondale, just. But they dropped some points as of late and they're getting hauled over by Heidelberg.
Heidelberg's in the same top.
Yeah.
This one is the. It's not the northern. Heidelberg is in the northern.
Yeah, they play in yellow and black. They play at Olympic Village next to Northland Shopping Centre. That's the table as it stands. Actually, a good idea for me to.
Gully. Yeah, good one. Up to the major.
Oh, crikey. Get yourself a coffee?
Just doing some doggies. Cut the grass here. Nothing.
Yeah.
Risk it. They got something more for us after the game.
A slight heart attack when the Football 24 app said that it was Connor Geyer that scored Port Melbourne's goal, but then I went back and checked the replay and it definitely wasn't.
No, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it?
There was number 2.
It was
Corona.
Corona.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was a cutback.
that's
It was
what
by himself.
Yeah, that's what the call said. But
Yeah.
then I checked the Football 24 app and I just like second guess yourself.
Yeah. Hopefully we get this into a more resourceful point with cameras, commentators, just efficient things. This is the starting point, obviously, with sports podcast meeting. Hopefully you can get better, some more commercial money coming out of it. Dandenong's done. No changes. Hang on. There he is. Probably got his ankle taped.
Yeah. So
He was proppy after that.
last night, but the ground's been up to women. So I'll go around the grounds.
What was the? Yeah, that was what I was going to mention earlier. 3-1,
3-0
2-1 finish. 3-0. Yeah, they need to bounce back. Green Gully up 1-0. 1-1 here. Oakley gets
Go through the results as well. Costa Drusus keep at East 9 as well. Nah, just today I'm doing 2 games today because I also do some work with Melbourne City.
Yeah.
Help them and that with their youth side, but because they've got the bye, their games have been postponed because they've got 5 starters away representing the national side.
Right.
If you've got a certain number of players on national duty, you can get your game postponed.
Right.
Very rarely used rule in the NPL, except for the youth side.
Easy to get injured with this temperature.
Make a Mowith. All the Port Melbourne boys went in, so let's see if Pittick's made a change. That
Well,
looks like
okay.
Kearney hasn't been changed in. So let's see if Sammy Ford has actually been subbed into the game. No, they haven't taken off number 7 who's been their number 9. So left it as is. Interesting. So let's see which coach makes the decision. The first 10 or 15 to make a change going forward. Need a goal to win.
How's going your first time?
Hey?
How's going your first
Yeah,
time?
good. No, I'm in good hands. I saw Lynchy when I got a point. Right. Right. He's well and truly experienced campaign. Tell the boys at work to keep that as.
Welcome back to JL Murphy Reserve, ahead of the second half here in NPL Victoria action, round 21 of the NPL Victoria season, as two sides desperate for 3 points clash here on a chilly night in Port Melbourne. It's the Sharks, Port Melbourne 1, Dandenong Thunder 1. Amadou Karoma putting his side ahead in the 27th minute of play. I know the Football 24 app says it was Konagaya, but no, checking the replay, it was definitely Amadou Karoma. And then, well, the Sharks had the lead for just seconds before the Dandenong Thunder bounced back and found an equaliser through who else but Brandon Barnes. So, should be a big second 45 minutes coming up here, Adam. I mean, if you're, well, we'll put you first in the shoes of Adam Pittock. If you are the Sharks head coach, what are you saying to your side to get the 3 points here tonight?
No change from either team. So let's see who's come to play in this next 10 minutes. So Adam Pittock, he does have Sam Ford on the bench. Look, he probably hasn't lived up to maybe the reputation of coming from England. But look, I find him to be more of a strong number 9 who assists and bring players into the game. I mean, he is a real danger man if he comes on. So let's see if Adam Pittock makes that change sooner rather than later. But this next 10 minutes is really the telling point. Who's going to take this game on? Who decides to press forward and get the goal they need?
One other game happening at present in NPL Victoria. Game between Green Gully and Pascoe, and in that one it was Alex Salmon for Green Gully, who I am contractually obligated to inform you is a former Carlisle United player, the mighty Carlisle United, putting Green Gully ahead in the 9th minute of play. Dandenong Thunder come forward, but it's cleared. One other game earlier completed today. It was Avondale 3, Hume City 0. So an important 3 points for the league leaders, seeing as they are challenged by the Bentley Greens and Heidelberg United. Bentley Greens last night, of course, recording a 2-1 victory over Kingston City. Is now the Thunder looking to press forward, trying to find an avenue in on goal. Comes out to Carpenter on the left. What can Carpenter do? Cuts in, looks for the cutback, but strong defending there from Karoma. Puts the ball out for a corner kick. Of course, NPL 2 action happening today as well. Before the corner comes in, Eastern Lions recording a 3-1 win over Box Hill. Werribee 1-0 over Whittlesea. North Geelong 3-2 over Ballarat. Briefly pause here for the corner in. Comes in towards the near post, but it's well cut out by Konagaya. Brandon Barnes gives chase. Thunder will retain possession. Dover trying to get back inside. Comes under pressure from De Goodoi. Still on the ball, Dover. Barnes gets the ball in. Cries for a handball. Referee waves play on. Thunder will retain possession, however. Early danger signs out to Barnes. He's out on the left here. Plays a ball in behind the defence, looking for Cavallo. Cavallo cuts it back. Still action. Carpenter had the shot, and Dandenong Thunder are incensed. There's been 3 or 4 occasions in this game, 2 times quick succession there, where they wanted a handball, but nothing coming. Do they have a case there, Adam?
From here, I can't really tell, mate, but Blake Carpenter, boy, do not turn your back on play when you are point blank on goal and you can have a second or third opportunity. Just keep going until it gets in the back of the net, mate. The ref will make his decision.
Yeah, quickly, another corner here for the Thunder, which we'll see deliver before I deliver you the other NPL 2 results. And this time it's a skied ball in towards the back post, and it's just headed wide of the goals. Melwith just able to watch it float wide of his post, and he'll take a quick goal kick. And the other NPL 2 results, Northcote City bouncing back after their defeat against Goulburn Valley Suns last week with a 4-1 win over Murray United, and Moreland City Geelong ending in a 1-1 draw in that Western Conference battle. Clark there, working on the right flank. Lose the ball, however. Beakhurst cuts out the attempt at Dandenong clearance. Mulcahy gets it into the middle to Ibrahim, but Ibrahim loses it. And a chance for the Thunder to burst up forward. Comes out to Barnes trying to hold up. He tried to turn his man, but the veteran Eager was aware, but the Thunder nonetheless can come forward. That's a ball in for Dover.
Carpenter.
Sorry, Carpenter. Carpenter gets the ball at the back post. Now the Thunder have to get back as the Sharks come forward. Clark to Beakhurst. Gets the ball in the middle of Ibrahim. Taylor gets it out. Back out to Clark. Left-footed effort into the area. Ibrahim's waiting. Strong boot, however, to clear the danger. Beakhurst tees up a shot. Skittles the defence, but it's taken a touch off a Thunder man, and it will be a corner. Those are the dangerous types of efforts, though, aren't they, where the keeper has the potential to lose it and just a forest of legs in, and if it sneaks through, you never know where it's going.
Thunder haven't had much luck with those type of manic balls that come in the box this season. There's been so many where there's just knock-ons or little deflections that have cost them goals. Very dangerous. Let's see what Port Melbourne can do here. Beakhurst at the top of the box again.
Beakhurst on his own at the top of the box. Eager and Maker heading into the area. De Goodoi is there as well, and it's De Goodoi who tries to leap up for it, but now Beakhurst tees up an effort. It's blocked. Stage not cleared, however, it's in the back of the net. It says Michael Eager, the big man, the defender. He stayed up after the corner as Beakhurst put an effort in. It's come out to the Port Melbourne captain, and here early in the second half, the defender has restored the Sharks' lead. It's 2-1 to the hosts.
Beakhurst, he's done that 3 or 4 times from set pieces today. He's just been by himself at the top of the box. Very costly. Dandenong Thunder, the attacking boys that are coming back to drop out and give a chop out of the box, they need to pick him up. You just can't be without a man. So you leave him at the top of the box, he's going to take his chance, and it looks like Michael Eager's put it through from a scramble.
Thunder already set up, waiting to restart this play. We saw after Caroma put Port Melbourne ahead in the first half, they were able to respond immediately through Brandon Barnes. So we'll see if they can do something similar once again as that ball comes out to Carpenter on the left flank. Cavallo arriving to provide support from his left back position, and he'll play a ball long. However, the touch from Desic is wayward. However, the Thunder can come again. Carpenter keeps it in, and the pressure from Caroma. Carpenter. Ball in towards the back post, looking for Dover, but it's cut out by De Goodoi, who just boots this ball long in the direction of Taylor. But the Thunder can have a chance to come again. But that final touch lets them down. It's happened a few times in this game where they've burst forward, but that killer final ball just lets them down. Eager heads the ball away in the direction of Konagaya, but it's going to come straight back. Maker, ball falls out, but Barnes was speculating on it, but it's collected by Mowith. And it appears as though the Thunder won't get that immediate response as they did in the first half, Adam.
No, look, they are going forward a little cleaner and keeping possession and getting nice and high, but ultimately it's that last bit of play where you need that nice shot on goal to test the keeper that's not happening for Thunder at the moment. But you see Port Melbourne, they go forward maybe once or twice out of 5 plays, and they get a shot at least on target. So that's what's going to count. Get the shots on target and gives yourself a serious chance.
It will be a free kick for Port Melbourne after Daniel Clark was brought down by Dean Baravescos. Baravescos joining the Thunder on deadline day from South Melbourne. Scored his first goal for the club last week. He's also a former Bonnie Rig White Eagles boy. It's now Ibrahim and Clark standing over this ball. Will be Clark on the left boot, swings the ball in swinging effort, but it's unable to be directed on target by Port Melbourne. However, that ball will bounce off Christian Cavallo and go out for a corner? No, it looks like it'll be a throw-in because you can see the centre-backs for Port Melbourne getting back.
Interesting, Adam Piddick has instructed directly to Maker and Eager not to commit to that corner. Well, pardon me, it wasn't a corner. It was a throw-in. Here we go, transitional play, Thunder pressing.
Kieran Dover bursting forward. He's been good for the Thunder tonight, has Kieran Dover. But Konagaya was getting back to defend. which meant that the foul from Mulcahy was completely unneeded, and he goes into the book for that. That was a silly challenge because he had support. Maybe he was unaware of it, or perhaps it was just the threat that Kieran Dover presents going down that left flank, and it will be a free kick to the Thunder in a dangerous area. Cavallo heading up to take it.
Correct, Lynchy, a mixture of, I don't think he was aware that his teammates had him covered. Probably the emotion going forward of having to catch the heels of Kieran Dover, and just a professional foul in a dangerous area. Let's see what Dandenong Thunder can make of it.
Ibrahim standing over it. We also see Dean Baravescos heading over to the Thunder bench to receive some instruction. Looks like he will jog over to the edge of the area, will Baravescos. A lot of men forward for the Thunder. Everybody back defending for Port Melbourne as the cross comes in from Cavallo, but it's cut out quickly. Ibrahim. Mulcahy plays it back to Mawith, who was under a bit of attention from Carpenter, but he's played the ball out to the left flank now. Clark. Moving forward to De Godoy. Strong sliding challenge, however, and the Thunder will win the ball back.
Great work rate from Desic there. Great work rate.
Now free kick for the Thunder. From the bench wanting a yellow card, more so for persistent fouls, I would say, more so than anything majorly untoward with that challenge. Of course, the Thunder probably still will remain disappointed not to have had at least one handball. They've had about 5 or 6 appeals for handball in the penalty area, wanting chance for Brendan Barnes to step up for a spot kick. Nothing so far, however, and they find themselves down 2-1. But this ball is delivered into the area, men arriving, but the header from McInerney, the big Irish defender, sails over the bar for another goal kick from Port Melbourne.
Thunder have to press right up from these goal kicks. They can't afford for no contest. They need to win the headers, and they can't let him to play it out from the back line as well. You've got to press right up. They're a goal down. Interesting game ahead.
This ball is played out long by Mawith in the direction of Clark, who's able to work. No, sorry, Beakhurst, who's able to work his man under the ball, and unable to fall to Taylor, who comes in and eventually wins a free kick. And this time you can see they didn't stay up for the throw-in, did Eager and Maker, but they're now making their way forward for this free kick. So don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this free kick from Clark is likely trying to find a head in that penalty area. Comes in towards the back post, in swinging, lovely ball as Adam said, but strong collection from Clark.
Clarkey just sends in those lethal in-swinging balls. Defenders absolutely hate that. But very class.
Now a chance for Amadou Karoma to burst forward down the left flank. He backs himself with speed, but the strong sliding challenge comes in to prevent him. And now Port Melbourne without their left back, if the Thunder can break quickly. Still coming are the Thunder. This is good. Cutting back into the middle of the field. Cavallo makes a run down the left flank, but Barnes is unable to feed the ball to him before he's dispossessed. Frustration for the Thunder. Baravescos gets it forward to Barnes, who plays it back to Baravescos. Back to Barnes, back to Baravescos. Good movement. Ball comes into the area. Carpenter cuts the ball back. I'm pretty sure Blake Carpenter was shooting there, but he can't even find the target. Has to do better when he's down 2-1, doesn't he, Adam?
Fantastic opportunity, and I'm sure Blake Carpenter, if he gets that opportunity again, he'll put it away. But what you noticed there was when Baravescos actually pushes forward, Dandenong Thunder hold possession a lot better link-up play. The more Baravescos pushes up, so does the defensive line, and they are a lot more dangerous and cleaner going forward.
We did see Baravescos recently heading to the bench to receive instruction from the coaching staff, so perhaps that Dandenong Thunder bench telling Baravescos, son, we need you moving up the field, we need you dictating tempo. Thunder increasingly frustrated as this game is going on. Malwith taking his time with the clearance that eventually comes in the direction of Beakhurst. Keeps it in the direction of Konagaya. Konagaya heads it back. Baravescos unable to keep it in. Probably got away with a handball, but the Thunder would be quick to tell you that they believe the Sharks have gotten away with some as well. So, what's the basketball phrase? Ball don't lie. Amadou Karoma is taking his time, and he's gonna looks like the referee instructing both benches that you're only allowed to have one person standing at a time. Dandenong Thunder immediately have two men standing up as soon as the referee turns his attentions away. I love it. It's now Port Melbourne trying to come forward again. Ibrahim goes down under the challenge from Modafari, wins a free kick.
Daniel Clark, since scoring the second goal, Port Melbourne, he's playing more as a holding mid. That's where I think they're actually stronger. They've got more possession. They can play it through Kanagawa and Ibrahim when they're actually ready to present. Being a goal up, obviously, Adam Pittock has told Clarkey to just hold position more centrally. But I reckon from the start, that's actually a stronger move.
This will be a free kick for the Sharks. Kanagawa and Ibrahim standing over the ball. Eager has drifted forward. Out there on the right-hand attacking side. The sole Port Melbourne player out there, surrounded by Thunder defenders. They've got three men on the left-hand side. Chipped over the top for Eager. Gets a head on it, but he can't direct the goal. It comes out to De Godoy. He can't get a clean shot on it. It's eventually cleared away by, I think it was Cavallo. But it's immediately claimed by Mulcahy. Gets it out to Clark. This ball is played over the top. Into the area. Shots from De Godoy. Well, if he'd managed to keep it down, the power on it probably would have taken it past Pierce Clark. Unfortunately for Port Melbourne, if it was rugby, he'd have scored, but he's put it well over the bar as we see Port Melbourne making their first change of the game. Umi number 21, Curran Ferns coming on. Well-travelled lad. Darwin-born, spent time with Victory Youth. Has also had stints in Malaysia, and he will be replacing Alan Mulcahy. So perhaps a bit of a defensive move for the Sharks, getting another body, a fresh body into that midfield to help stem any Thunder attacks forward.
And the direction from Curran's to Clarkey as he just came on, no doubt, direct from Adam Pickett was that he wants two in the middle to maintain their 2-1 and keep the ball a lot more. And here we go with Thunder. Brandon Barnes through.
Barnes out there on the left flank, tries to keep it in, cuts it back because his touch let him down. Had to just swing the ball in, but Georgopoulos was arriving, but Ibrahim does well to apply the pressure. But the Thunder have another chance now with a throw-in on that right flank in front of the Port Melbourne grandstand. Trying to find a way in behind this Port Melbourne defence. Ducking and diving. Still in possession. Excellent from Modafari. He gets it into Beravescos, and Beravescos tries to play through a dangerous looking ball, but it's just gone straight through all the way to Mawith, who plays a bit of silly buggers. Does the youngster. Always love to see these youngsters showing an appreciation for the dark arts at a young age. And now the Thunder will try to get going down the left flank, but that's turned over. Well, it looked like it was going to be a turnover, but they will get the ball back. De Godoy went down under the challenge. Now Karoma is just forced to go back even further. Just a fierce press coming up here from the Thunder. They are down a goal, so perhaps, if you'll pardon the torture joke, the Thunder bring in the Thunder with this press as the second half goes on. And they have forced Port Melbourne into conceding a throw in here on the right flank, as we also see Dandy Thunder preparing their first substitution of the game. Number 5, Mercy Mehmeti, preparing to come on. The young Socceroo, Mercy Mehmeti. Ball goes out onto the right flank for Cavallo, who swings an in-swinging ball into the area. Shouts for a penalty from the Thunder bench, not arriving. And now the Sharks have a chance to break. Ball comes out to Beakhurst on the right-hand side, but he can't keep it in. And now we will see the substitution being made. Mehmeti coming on to replace Shane McInerney. So, defender for defender in this case. Perhaps McInerney nursing an injury or something. We're down 2-1, but switching around defenders, Adam?
He looks okay. He's not limping. I definitely wouldn't have taken him off, that's for sure.
Well, unsure of the motives here, but regardless, that's the first substitution being made. Mercy Mehmeti, former Melbourne City youth, represented the young Socceroos at the 2018 SBS Cup in Japan, enters the fray, and Barnes will be unable to chase that ball down. And now, well, you've mentioned him a few times here in the broadcast, and he gets set to enter the fray. Sam Ford. The big body of Sam Ford preparing to come on. The number 9 looks like it will be Brodie Taylor making his way off. So Sam Ford, he scored 5 goals in 19 appearances so far this season. And now he has a chance to help his side look for a third. And you'd have to think a third goal for the Sharks at any point soon would be an absolute hammer blow to the Thunder.
Especially now the Dandenong Thunder have actually taken off their number 1 centre-back, and now Port Melbourne have countered with their number 1 striker. Right now, based on that move, mate, I think Port Melbourne are going to win this 3-1.
We'll see what can happen as Beravescos plays the ball back to his centre-back Sheridan, with that long ball over the top to Mowith. And Mowith's got to be careful not to take the ball over the line, but he's able to hold up. Young goalkeeper Mowith just puts the ball out to Eager on the left, the veteran. Still on the ball, he's advancing up the field. Nobody really coming to him, and eventually he just plays it forward to Clark. Ibrahim. Piddock wants the ball switched out to this right flank to Beakhurst, and eventually it does come out to Beakhurst. Beakhurst cuts in. He's done well. That's shots! What a save from Pierce Clark. Finn Beakhurst just cut in onto his left boot, my apologies, and the Thunder defence just kind of evaporated in front of him, gave him an avenue to put a curling left foot shot in, but Pierce Clark, fantastic one-handed save, diving to his right to keep his side in it, Adam.
Well, Beakhurst just got past the first, saw that nobody went to him, and he goes, okay, I'll just dribble past you all and have a shot on goal. That's pretty unfair on Pierce Clark, but the boy can save throughout the season. He's just probably going to win Goalkeeper of the Year based off what he's done this season.
So, thanks to the heroics of their young goalkeeper, Pierce Clark, the Thunder remain in this game at 2-1. And they'll now press forward, desperately seeking that equaliser in their race to remain alive here in NPL Victoria. Doesn't get any easier for the Thunder, because they do return home next week. We'll briefly pause for this corner to get delivered in. Rising at the back post, but unable to turn it in. And they'll reset now through Cavallo. There's space out here on the left if they can find people. Instead, Cavallo opts to go into the middle. However, the flicked on pass is cut out by Port Melbourne, who now try to get forward, but Clark arrives late. Mehmeti tries to feed it through to Barnes, but the pass was never there, and it's cut out by a maker.
Brandon Barnes can't always be the man. You've got to hold the ball, bring someone else into the game. The midfielder's got to work up. You're a goal down, you have to press. But in saying that, when you've got the ball, he's not always the man to go to. You've just got to hold, keep possession for a bit. At least you're in your half with the ball, maintain possession, and wait for another midfielder to work up.
You see, Barnes is still moving a tad gingerly. It was in that first half where he just pulled up a little lame, appeared to maybe step in a divot or something, and you can see now his bursts of energy from Barnes before he slows a bit and looks a bit gamey. Once again, you see him there. I mean, that ball played forward for Ford, but he can't control it and goes long. I mean, Barnes has always been a very explosive movement followed by a bit of walking around, but in this case that walking around also appears to contain a bit of limping at him.
The first rabbit hole in Port Melbourne's history. J.L. Murphy always provides the goods, but he's managed to step in a bit of a divot in the first half. He hasn't shaken it off, but true to Brandon Barnes, he'll play out the game injured.
Because it was last season Brandon Barnes finished the campaign pretty much on one leg, well, less than one leg. But nonetheless was able to finish a campaign in which he was awarded both the Media and Players Player of the Year. In his, as Adam points out, that Thunder getting set to introduce Dean Piemonte to the fray. Former Northcote and Oakley arrived in the mid-season transfer window from Dandenong City. We'll see who he replaces on the field. Looks as though it will be Anthony Desic. As the Thunder, they've had more of the ball in this second half, but their incisiveness in attack has been a bit wanting as that ball forward for Carpenter is cut out. And now Beakhurst will advance down the field on the right. He's got Karoma in support, who he tries to feed, but it's a wayward pass and it will go out. It will enable Dean Piemonte to be added to the fray.
Just fantastic positioning from Beakhurst. He knows where he has to stand on the way out, and when it does, every time, he always has the ball, and when he goes forward, he's dangerous. From what I can see, Dandenong Thunder, when they get it forward, they're rushing it a bit too much, and Port Melbourne, just timely, they go forward a lot better, and I really do think Port Melbourne are going to score. In saying that, Dean Piemonte's just come on and he has a lethal left foot, so if Dandenong Thunder manage to get a free kick close to the box, it's dangerous, but other than that, going forward, they're just not clean enough. Michael Eager and Maker just clean it up, and timely and precisely, they hit up their midfielders a lot better than what Thunder do.
Thunder down 2-1 after Port Melbourne took a 2-1 lead early in the second half. Desperately trying to find an equaliser. Piemonte. Cavallo getting forward is Christian Cavallo, and he plays the ball in, and did Magic Mowith get a touch to that? No, he didn't. It did look slightly theatrical from the young Port Melbourne goalkeeper looking for the cross. Perhaps he realised that there was nobody waiting for the follow-up, so pulled out at the last second, and it will be a goal kick to Port Melbourne. So, Adam, Dandenong Thunder, they've already introduced Mercy Mehmeti and Dean Piemonte. If you're in that Thunder dugout, who are you bringing on as your final substitute?
I think, based off what I can see, young Sev Ismaili and also Connor. So Connor is traditionally a right back, or even useful as a right mid, and Sev is also a right mid as well. So as far as attacking options, no, but he can stock up the midfield if there's anyone running out of legs. But at the moment, mate, if they want to score, they need to press. They need to take this game on, take the risks, and the midfield need to really step up.
So that ball over the top. Perhaps Ibrahim with a sniff, but Thunder do a good job of shutting him out. Now this ball is played forward for Carpenter, but Maker gets across quickly. And it's actually going to be offside on the former Adelaide youth. Didn't appreciate the call, but I guess not many attackers appreciate being called off for offside. And now Amadou Karoma getting a bit of a serve from the travelling Thunder fans that he's taking his time. Thunder always travel well, one of the best supported sides in NPL Victoria. And now Karoma is going to get a book in for a bit of silly buggers. Bit of time wasting, bit of trying to steal a bit of turf. And in the end he just goes long in the direction of Ford. He's trying to hold it up and flick it back for Beakhurst.
You cannot give Beakhurst room. That's the play. Right then, you saw Sammy Ford and Beakhurst straight away. And if they do that a bit deeper, I'm telling you, they're going to score.
Ibrahim going down the left flank. He's got support from De Godoy. Uses De Godoy. Plays the ball in for Clark. Clark gets it in looking for Ford. Still comes back out to Goodeye! My word, he's absolutely willied that effort into the past Clark and into the back of the net. He was arriving with venom. Was the Port Melbourne man, and he's just gone bang and put his side ahead 3-1 at him. Is that game over?
That's the third I was telling you about. Look, Dandenong Thunder have had their opportunities through play going forward, but it just hasn't been as clean as Port Melbourne. Since Piddick has decided to play two in the midfield, and understanding that he's made that move after scoring the second goal, the service up forward is a lot better, and ultimately the boys up forward for Port Melbourne are a lot cleaner. There's been a lot more cohesion between players when and when not to run and play. They've just been a lot cleaner going forward. They don't need to go forward 10 times. They'll go forward 2, and they'll more than likely score like they just have.
So the score here at JL Murphy Reserve, it's Dandenong Thunder 1, Port Melbourne after Ko de Goodey's absolute thunderbolt 3. And desperate times now for the Thunder. Coming into this game unbeaten in 2 after scoring an upset win over the Bentley Greens and then recording a draw with Dandenong City last week. In that quest to retain a place in the top tier of Victorian football next year. Disastrous for them. Conversely for Port Melbourne, up 3-1 now in their push for the top 6 as players sliding around. Maker just getting that ball out there to Karoma on the right. Port Melbourne, they finished the season with 4 games at home, do Port Melbourne. A chance to really finish with a wet sail in the push for the top 6. And this could be the spark that they need.
As you can tell, the behaviour of the players right now, scoring a third goal. The midfielders from Thunder get a little more desperate. They commit to tackles that they maybe shouldn't. They open their body up and they allow Port Melbourne to start hitting the ankles, and that's where you can start leaking goals. Ultimately, they do need to attack, but you also need to be mindful of where your positioning is on the ground.
Thunder come forward again. Yes, Port Melbourne will travel to Oakleigh Cannons next week, but following that they'll have games at home against Altona, Heidelberg, Bentley and Dandy City. So a couple of tough assignments in there, but nonetheless it is 4 home games in a row. And in the push for a finals place, you'll take that as the Thunder trying to get something going, but they just can't find their way forward. And now Sam Ford has a chance to break. Has support from Ibrahim on the left. Players streaming forward for Port Melbourne. Chance to get the ball down the left flank to Goodeye, the goal scorer. Cuts it back. Just there's acres of space in the middle of the park for Port Melbourne to operate in, and that's played in behind the defence, but the Goodeye will be offside and a let off for the Thunder. The Thunder next week, well, it doesn't get any easier. They're back at home, but they'll welcome the league leaders, Avondale, to town. Avondale, who recorded a win earlier today, looking to see off challenges from the Bentley Greens and Heidelberg United. So you'd imagine that they'll be well up for the fight. Then they will travel to South Melbourne. Big game at Lakeside Stadium. A home fixture against Pascoe. That will be a genuine 6-pointer in the relegation battle. Then at Green Gully, and then they'll finish the season at home against the Knights, who could be playing for a position in the top 6. So promotion and relegation, it means that every game is so important in the late season, as the Thunder could tell you, as Kunagaya falls somewhat theatrically to the turf. Doesn't raise the ire of the referee, however, and it will be Cavallo to take this throw in. Carpenter just tried to let the ball run and run onto it, but Maker well aware of what he was trying to do and puts it out for another throw in. Barnes. He's got Cavallo in support, uses him, but sliding challenge comes in from Ferns. Cavallo again coming inside. Ferns again with a sliding challenge. Comes out to Barnes on the left. Barnes puts a cross in, but there's nobody waiting there, and Ko de Goodeye, taking no chances, puts the ball out for a corner.
Adam Piddick would be wrapped with his midfielders right now, just absolutely attacking the ball with every bit of their effort, defensively, offensively. They've done a magnificent job. Michael Eager, Maker, the midfielders at the start, Alan Mulcahy, Daniel Clark, and Currans has just come on. They've all done their job tonight, and it's ultimately one of them game.
I think that's Beravescos ambling over to take it on the... No, Beravescos was in the middle. My apologies. It was Piemonte. As well, Georgopoulos was trying to wind up a big effort. Just mishits it. We'll go out for a throw-in, and just the frustration increasingly evident with every passing attack on this Thunder bench, just throwing their arms up in the air there as the ball goes out. Kaya de Godoy getting set to throw this ball in on the left.
De Godoy, the moment he goes forward, the moment he scores, throughout the whole first half, he just played a little more conservatively. And I actually thought he was injured, but the moment he goes forward, he scores, and here Port Melbourne go forward again.
This one comes out to Clark. Gets to Beakhurst. Comes under pressure from Cavallo arriving. As did Mehmeti, still applying the pressure, but Beakhurst goes to ground. No free kick. Good defending from Dandenong to win the ball fairly, and now they can come forward. Georgopoulos tries to switch the play, but his pass is errant, and Konagaya comes in and steals the ball off Dover. Still going is Konagaya. He's got Ibrahim on his left, uses him. Ibrahim can wind up a shot, but in the end, the finish is not really befitting of a former gold medal winner. Was put on a platter for him by Yuta Konagaya, but he's put the ball over the bar, and a let-off for the Thunder.
Konagawa just starting to open up a lot more in the middle because Thunder is committing so much forward. But if it starts opening up, Konagawa, just a very dangerous player. If he starts getting the ball in a bit more room, as is now, starting to open up with a few switches, there may be another goal in here for Port Melbourne.
Clark gets it to Ferns. To Ibrahim. That's offside. We'll be coming back. Much to De Godoy's frustration. But yes, mate, you are offside. Piddick yelling in his side to keep the ball, as we also see Connor Cass coming on for the Thunder, replacing Blake Carpenter. So another mid-season addition for the Thunder arrived from Moreland City on the window. Still looking for his first goal for the Thunder. What a time it would be to score up. Well, he'd need to score one and then a second, wouldn't he? But he's taking up position here on this left flank. Now he gets his first touch. Cass, instantly recognisable with that long flowing mane. Little step over.
Outnumbered in the box, you've got to keep possession.
Cass plays the ball back to Cavallo. Just Cavallo is charged down by Beakhurst, and it will be a throw-in for the Thunder. Beravescos presenting an option behind Cavallo. Cavallo says, no mate, get forward. Instead he plays it all the way back to his central defender Mehmeti. Georgopoulos plays the ball forward to Piemonte, but he gets it straight back. Beravescos. Cass, another step over. Onto his right boot, swings the ball into the area, flicked onwards by Cavallo. No doing, however, Piemonte. Georgopoulos still pressing. The Thunder, they've retained possession here. Port Melbourne on the back foot. Another chance, working away. Can they just find this killer ball? Comes out to Piemonte now. Shot from Piemonte! In the end, it was rather tame. Perhaps going off target. Mawith taking no chances, however, gets down to smother the ball and holds it well.
Just watching the behaviour of some of the Dandenong Thunder midfielders, the work rate has just really dropped off, and you need to be a lot more desperate when you're 3-1 down and fighting out of the bottom three. Kieran Dover, Modafari, Cavallo, Barnes, they all need to work a lot harder, even Beravescos. You've got to get up, you're 3-1 down, you've got to take the game on.
Georgopoulos gets it to Piemonte. Oh, sorry, Beravescos. Bereveskos just splays it out to the left to Carpenter. He gets it back to Brandon Barnes, and Brandon Barnes, you can see he's dropping further back, looking for the ball. Plays through Carpenter. Can he keep, not Carpenter, Cavallo. Can Cavallo keep it in? Cavallo can keep it in. Cass perhaps indicating that he wanted the ball from Cavallo to put it in, swing a left-footed cross in.
And this is where you need Shane McInerney. I'm going to ask the Dandenong Thunder coach after the game why he actually subbed him off, because he didn't look injured, but ultimately your tallest bloke on the field, and you need him here at these corner kicks.
Cavallo lofts a floaty ball into the area. Brandon Barnes rose for it, couldn't get a proper touch on it. Shot from Piemonte. He was falling backwards, wasn't able to make a proper connection on it, and it's gone out for a goal kick, which is quick, and a replacement ball is quickly thrown in by the fourth official. Time, seconds ticking away for the Thunder. Just a second ball comes in, which enables Moith to just steal a few more seconds off the clock without getting booked. Ford trying to get underneath this ball, but it's headed back by the Thunder. Cass trying to find it, but Koroma just watches the ball run out for a throw-in. Played forward now for Ford. Trying to just hold the ball up is the Englishman. Comes back to Konagaya. Koroma has turned it over, however. Strong challenge comes in from Ferns. Georgopoulos. Now this is a chance for the Thunder to break quickly. Down this right flank. Modafari can't make proper connection, and it will be a goal kick.
Look, fantastic. You really have to applaud the defensive efforts by every Port Melbourne player. Adam Pickett has made sure when the ball is in Dandenong's attacking half, he makes sure that he gets every Port Melbourne player right in there to get a defensive effort out of there. He does not want to concede another goal. And the effort from Port Melbourne, backline, the midfield, even the strikers that get back and work hard is just fantastic from them tonight.
Headed forward by the Thunder once again, but Maker will amble over and watch it go over the line. Kieran Dover eventually arriving, but Kieran Dover acting as ball boy to ensure that Amadou Koroma can't steal any more time off the clock. Kavala getting a boot in, putting it out for another throw in. That head cut out by Bereveskos, who plays it into the middle of the field. Was intended for Dover, but it's now going to be a turnover. Konagaya, he's done well to dance through a number of challenges, has Port Melbourne's Japanese star. The Goodoi scored the third for the Sharks. Clark, and as Adam said, has been dropping back further deep in this second half. Ball comes into the area, but it's behind Ford. And the Thunder will be able to try to slingshot forward.
Just Konagawa, what a well-balanced player, left and right side. That's why you pay the big bucks. He's an absolute star.
Brandon Barnes going to get the ball and then plays it into the middle for Kieran Dover. Kieran Dover is bundled over in a challenge. Throw in for the Thunder. And you can see the desperation for Brandon Barnes. Well, maybe more so the frustration for Brandon Barnes. He was indicating he was going to take that throw in, which is something he would never normally do. Except perhaps when you're down 3-1 and you're increasingly frustrated. Now ball comes into Piemonte. Dover. Bereveskos gets it out wide to Cass. Puts the ball into the area, but Michael Eager is there to head the ball clear. And now this is a chance for the Sharks to break. Konagaya, he's got Ibrahim on his left, uses him. Ford is waiting in the middle. Beakhurst is arriving as well. Ibrahim onto his left boot, making his way to the byline, plays it in. It's kept out by Clark. Konagaya is arriving. Sliding challenge denies him. Beakhurst now. We'll just take this into the corner to kill some time. Good IQ there from the Port Melbourne winger.
A bit De Gea-like from Clarkey there with the leg out. A bit futsal. Good save. Good save. I think, honestly think Port Melbourne, there's another goal in this, I think.
Yeah, Pierce Clarkey has made a couple of great saves tonight. Ball comes into the area. Ford unable to keep his feet. Can the Thunder move this ball forward quickly? Piemonte was making a run, but they just can't find him. Ball is cut out by Karoma, who plays the ball across the left to Degudoy. Ibrahim flicks the ball over the top of Ford. Ford is offside. Won't count.
Oh, there was the fourth I picked.
Sam Ford would have been the Englishman's 6th goal of the season, but unable to time his run properly.
There's no legs in the current Dandenong Thunder midfield. I haven't seen Georgiopoulos touch it for a while. Beraveskos, I think he's shot. I mean, you have a young midfielder, Sev Ismaili, who you know, a youngster could take his opportunity. Who knows what he could do to the game? Just put him on. You need some more legs in the middle for Dandenong Thunder. At the moment, it's just very sloppy, and they can't get it forward. And Port Melbourne are up and about. I really do think they're going to score another.
Georgiopoulos now in possession, tries to put a ball forward, but it's just Ferns gets in the way of it and just boots this ball clear. Adam Piddick instructing his side to press up as the fourth official indicates that there will be 5 minutes of added time here. Down 3-1. The Thunder need a goal soon. That pass, well, Dover just meekly turns the ball over in the end, and it was cleared out by Port Melbourne for a throw-in. Barnes getting out onto the left flank. Ball back into Dover. However, that pass is wayward and it's just booted clear by Port Melbourne. Sam Ford applying the pressure to Memeni. Memeni just heads the ball onwards. And you can see Cass has floated over to the right flank. Comes under pressure from Degudoy. Ibrahim there as well. Cass tries to play the 1-2. Comes under pressure from Clark. Desperation there from the Thunder. Try to keep it in, but Port Melbourne snuff it out. Ball played into the middle of the field, and now it's played forward for Ford, who can hold the ball up. Tried to play a ball through to Beakhurst, but just not enough power on it, and it is cleared away by the Thunder. Can they keep it in? Good sliding challenge from Ferns.
Those ones hurt. In July, when it's cold like this, those ones hurt.
Plays resumes quickly here. Dover getting back up gingerly. Will continue, and Ford playing in Beakhurst, who will be offside.
I don't think that was off. I actually don't think Beakhurst was off then. Very lucky.
And then Piddick also not thinking it was offside. I think Beakhurst thought he was offside or was just maybe unaware of what was actually going on, because he was uncharacteristically slow to react to that ball from Ford.
I think Georgiopoulos was aiming for me then. I was in for a mark.
Karoma on this right flank. Dover closes him down quickly. Forced to go back to Malwith, who comes under pressure from Barnes. Just switches the ball across to Degudoy. Ball is played forward for Ford. Tries to spin around Keegan Sheridan, but that's another offside. So, just in a few times now, maybe trying to get in behind this Thunder defence as they commit men forward and nick a fourth. The Sharks are finding themselves offside. Comes down to Barnes. Now he's offside. So duelling offsides for both sides here in second half injury time. Extra time, sorry, not injury time. Karoma gets it to Konagaya against his opposite number. Plays another ball forward for Ford, who falls down but is able to retain possession in the end. Ford has a shot over the bar. Went down under pressure from Sheridan, but was able to somehow keep possession and win the ball. Opted to try his luck from range, did Sam Ford, but he's put it over the bar as a number of Thunder fans begin to make their way towards the exit. Not the result they would have been wanting from a cold night at JL Murphy Reserve. Long ball out from Clark, just finds the head of Konagaya. Ford turns around, tries to play through Beakhurst, cut out by Sheridan, but it goes straight to Karoma. Beraveskos. Cass. Can they get something going, the Thunder? You never know in promotion relegation playoffs. Even a goal, even if you lose, goal difference could prove the difference at the end of the season. Barnes can't find a teammate. Piamonte, can he keep it in? Just. However, that pass intended for Barnes is too heavy, and it will be a goal kick for the Sharks.
The Thunder have shown the ability to get the ball forward. They can get it into the box, but it's just left to too few. Usually it's Kieran Dover or Brandon Barnes the majority of the time when they receive the ball, and it's in an area where they need to work against two people. So your dangerous players are receiving the ball in the wrong areas. They can get the ball up, but ultimately they don't get in a finishing spot, or the right players in a finishing spot, unless by mistake from the defence they leave Brandon Barnes one out with a defender.
Ford tries to flick that ball over the top. Beakhurst applied the pressure. Was cut out now. Clark. Pettick instructing his side to try to keep the ball. So you imagine Clark will try to take this to the corner. And that's exactly where he goes. Oh, what a clever cutback from Clark to get around Kavala, but Kavala recovered excellently. But in the end, it is for naught as the referee blows 3 times to signal the end of play here at JL Murphy Reserve. Scores were tied entering half-time at 1-1, but the Sharks adding 2 in that second half through Michael Eager and Kao de Godoy to complement Amadou Karoma's first half effort. Brandon Barnes had drawn his side level almost instantaneously in the first half, but the Thunder unable to find any answer in the second half as the Sharks secure a 3-1 win, an important win in their push for a finals place towards the end of the season. Adam, what are your thoughts on what we just witnessed out there today?
A massive win for Port Melbourne. As I said from the start, this was a contest with both teams had to come out of it with a win. So it was a very open game. Great to watch. But ultimately, a fantastic win for Port Melbourne to keep up with the top 6. A very bad loss for Dandenong Thunder. They needed to walk away from here with at least a point. I think the massive difference for Port Melbourne was bringing that extra midfielder throughout the middle. It just helps support the efforts of Maker and Eager, and the efforts from Konagawa, the control from Beakhurst, and the delivery from Daniel Clark was just ultimately too good going forward for Port Melbourne. They put 3 away and probably should add 4. Thankful for Piers Clark for Dandenong Thunder for a couple of amazing saves. But Port Melbourne a lot more polished and controlled and finished when they needed to, and they've won at home to keep themselves in the top 6.
Oh yes, quickly around the grounds before we finish up. Score at out in Pascoe versus Green Gully, despite having 2 men sent off. Green Gully still with that 1-0 lead over Pascoe. And in the other game, just about 30 minutes into the contest between Oakley Cannons and Dandenong City, the score is Oakley Cannons 1, Dandenong City 0 after a goal from Matthews in the 14th minute of play. So it could be an important win for the Cannons and a devastating loss for Dandenong City if that form holds. But regardless of what happens out there, this has been a contest at JL Murphy Reserve where Port Melbourne have recorded a 3-1 victory over the Dandenong Thunder on a cold night, on a cold Saturday night. Thank you for joining us on the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages. Be sure to join in on the coverage throughout the rest of the season. Every NPL game, NPL Under-20s game, NPLW game, and 2 select NPL2 games every week. I've been Joe Lynch. I've been joined by Adam Tahiri on his first ever call on an NPL Victoria game. Pretty well done, I would say, mate. And thank you for joining us today. The final score from JL Murphy Reserve, Port Melbourne 3, Dandenong Thunder 1.